vilasanti mahābhogairviśanti girigahvarān nirastakalpanā dhīrā abaddhā muktabuddhayaḥ. The wise, who are free from mental imagining, unbound and liberated in intellect, sometimes sport in the midst of great enjoyments, and at other times retire to the mountain caves. This verse should not be taken as a free pass to just sport in the midst of great enjoyment, saying that the man of wisdom also sports like that. How would a realized yogi exist in the midst of enjoyment when he is placed in an environment where all are singing, dancing, making merry? He may be singing along with them or even dancing sometimes, while others may be singing, dancing for getting happiness. The yogi would be singing in the happiness, not for happiness, in happiness, in joy, as self. The best scene one can imagine is Swami singing a song. What would be the state? While others take up so many activities for happiness, the yogi is already in a million times more intoxicating joy of self within. In the case of a yogi, free from imagining means what he sees or hears in an environment of worldly pleasures, enjoyments, does not get carried to his mind, and it does not affect him mentally or physically in any ways. How can we not take a reference to these verses from Jivan Muktananda Lahari? Where Shankara says, living sometimes in a palace, then somewhere in the mansions of the rich, at times on a mountain, and then somewhere on the banks of rivers, and sometimes in the hut of ascetics rich in self-restraint, the sage, with ignorance dispelled by Guru's grace, is never deluded. And talking about singing, dancing, etc., sporting somewhere in the company of boys with clap of hands, and elsewhere in the company of young women full of laughter, and sometimes lamenting with aged folk pensive with heavy hearts, the sage, with ignorance dispelled by Guru's grace, is never deluded. How beautifully these verses reflect on what has been told by Ashtavakra in this verse. About retiring to caves, inwardly the man of wisdom is in solitude and always in caves within. Therefore, he has no issue or no problem in taking up the same state outwardly also. That is, no problem in settling in caves physically as well, because he is internally already in solitude, in cave. Only when one is able to be in the state of bliss, in samadhi, when he is in the world, can he continue to be in the same state when he retires to cave. If one is not able to withdraw himself from the world and be in the state of aloneness of self while living amidst the crowd, while living in the samsara, then he can never hope to spend in solitude, in caves, in bliss more than a couple of hours. For all problems in life, the solution is to realize self. Otherwise, being alone in the world can be really painful. Let us go to the commentary. Whether his body is amidst sense objects or in a solitary cave, it is immaterial to the liberated in life. He is ever the self, experiencing the infinite bliss of the self, in the self. To the awakened, it does not matter if his dream world is still continuing and how his dream body is still functioning in the presence of the other members of his past dream. Immaterial to him where his body happens to be. Its prarabdha may drag it into the world of sense objects. From the ordinary viewpoint of a common man, a man of realization may be seen amidst luxurious environments, fascinatingly rich and surrounded by objects of pleasure. But since his inner equipment are rendered impotent, and since his ego has been transcended, the outer joys of the sense objects cannot add even a wee bit to the infinite bliss of the sage.